spine. Good morning if you are joining on Facebook and LinkedIn, Instagram and YouTube. We are starting the session this morning just with a little bit of mobilization, as we usually do. Bit of knocking on the door of life, nice and stable and supported through the lower body, on the ground, feet about shoulder width apart, tall and lifted through the crown. Remember, the neck is still part of the spine as well. And just moving hips and waist. The sessions are called Breathe, Balance, Move, and we haven't focused on balance for a while, so I thought we'd have a little play around with balance. So if we're thinking of balance now, just making sure that we feel evenly distributed weight-wise through the feet, through the lower body. You'll feel a very subtle weight shift as you rotate to one side and the other, because there's a little bit more focus on the drive, if you like, from the ground, but we're not emphasizing a shift one side or the other. So making sure that drive from the ground is the same each side. We're soft through the ankle, soft in the knee and in the hips. And slowing down. Just a little tip on this one. When you're really, because we're focusing on driving from the ground, have an emphasis, and this is what I mean is a really subtle emphasis, so I don't want you to force anything, is as I'm driving to the right, so that's my right, I'm using the right foot connected to the ground. I'm almost bringing the right heel in towards the midline. So I'm not forcing that heel in, but if we just sort of like really floppy, you're not getting that strength through the lower body. So the right heel is coming towards the midline, and then you'll feel you get that rotation through the ankle, the knee and the hip. And the same thing when we're going left, you're not doing anything, you're not physically doing it, you're just thinking right heel, or sorry, if we're going this way to the left, left heel. So I've just got my emphasis or awareness, not even emphasis, just got awareness on the heel, drawing into the midline. And then you start to work this whole spiral chain through the ankle, through the knee, through the hip. So that's how we can focus on balancing evenly each side. And it's also how you can focus on having that strong lower body and driving from the hips and the waist, so you can relax that upper body, you can relax the shoulders, you can relax between the shoulder blades, you can keep that neck long. So the emphasis is driving here from the center, but obviously that's coming from the ground up. Have a little play with that a little bit more, just focusing. And then slow it down. So you see there's a big difference from really using the strength of the lower body, strength of the glutes, strength of the legs, as opposed to just using, oh, I'm just going to use my upper body to rotate. So there's nothing wrong in using your upper body to rotate. It's great to strengthen and use that upper body to rotate. But for this particular exercise, we're rotating and strengthening the lower body, keeping that upper body light and lifted. That'll make even more sense when we go for a wider stance. So we're going about shoulder and a half width apart. And we're just going to move to one side. So now you're going to shift the weight. I don't know if I'm mirroring you or not. I am shifting to my right side. So if I'm mirroring you, you're shifting to the left. And then I'm going to keep my pelvis level and I'm going to keep it parallel to the ground and shift to the right. And I'm going to shift to the left and I'm going to shift to the right. And again, as you're doing this, have in mind, as you're shifting, I'm not twisting, I'm not moving, but that heel is coming towards the midline. And you suddenly feel, oh, my legs are working. I'm not tilting the pelvis side to side. I'm not tipping the pelvis. Pelvis is parallel to the ground. Pelvis parallel to the ground. At the minute, the spine is just sitting on top. If you have pelvis like that, spine like that, everything is, or the spine like that, everything is just gliding side to side. And then we can add to this glide, knocking. So now you're shifting the weight side to side. I'm relaxing my arms, relaxing my shoulders. I'm driving from the center, keeping the spine tall. Breathing easy in and out through the nose. And then slow it down. We're going to water waves in this wide position. So shifting side to side. Get a little bit of a figure of 8 going through the hips maybe. Nice. And then come up to standing, walk your feet back and just give a little shake out. Stand for a moment. Let's go hip width apart, standing tall with that idea of nice and strong through the lower body, softening to the ankles and knees and the hips, strong through the back of the body, long, strong spine, but then softening and relaxing into the front of the body, softening the face, softening into the jaw, softening into the chest, softening into the belly. Just letting the breath settle. Stepping back out to your shoulder width. If it feels comfortable going with parallel feet, if you need a little bit of a turnout, have a little bit of a turnout. We're going to bend a little bit more, bending the ankles, bending the knees in the hips. We're going to keep the pelvis in this position or at this height, and we're going to do that tilting forwards and backwards with the pelvis. So if you joined the class on Monday, this is what we were doing on the floor. So you're feeling that pelvis tilt. If I'm tucking the tailbone underneath, I'm spilling out the back of the pelvis. If I'm tilting the pelvis forwards and rounding that back a little bit more, spilling out the front of the pelvis. So let's just get that action just with the pelvis. We talk about isolating the pelvis. We're not exactly just isolating the pelvis. There will be that ripple all the way through the body, but just focusing on that pelvis tilting backwards and forwards. I'll jump to the side just to give you a little demo so you can see from the side. I'm tucking underneath, lengthening up, tucking underneath. And just let the spine, head and neck just do what it feels comfortable in doing. Tilting. As we are walking, running, there is a subtle tilt and each also side to side with the pelvis. So one side tilts forwards as the other tilts back as we're walking. Not as big as that, but very subtly. So it's important that we have this ability to maybe isolate that pelvis a little bit, feel that movement. Now, please don't go walking and trying to tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards because it won't feel good. And now let's bring up our body into it. So as we spill forwards or tilt forwards, we're just opening up the chest, lifting and looking towards the sky. As we tuck underneath, curling up into a little ball. We also bring breath with this, so breathing gently in through the nose as we expand. And then out through the nose, exhaling as we curl up into a little ball. I want you to find your natural rhythm with the breath and the movement. So you don't need to necessarily follow me, just follow your rhythm. Really focus on the rhythm here. Feel how those shoulder blades move as well. As we expand, almost like squeezing the shoulder blades together as we curl up into a little ball, creating space between the shoulder blades. Next in breath, just when it's settled, just when it works within your rhythm, we're just going to rotate to one side. Still keep that pelvis tilting, tucking and tilting. And just a few down one side of the body. Back to the center when you're ready. Couple more down the center, no rush, just follow your rhythm. And then repeat on the opposite side. And then back to the center when you're ready. And then finish with a nice big breath. So breathing in. Nice stretch. A little twist if you need a twist. And a bit of a shake out. Let's do a little bit of bouncing. So we'll just do raising onto the bubbling spring or raising onto the ball of the foot and then just dropping down. Raising onto the ball of foot and dropping down. Now, of course, if you have any issues with your heels, Achilles, anything hurts, do not hurt anything. But if it feels okay, raising onto the bubbling spring and literally just dropping so you get that vibration all the way through the bones. Raising the bubbling spring, nearly fell over then, and drop. Breathing in and letting go. And if you want to let go through the mouth, just let go through the mouth. Just cleanse and clear. Breathing in through the nose. And let go. Feels good. Let's do a couple more. Breathing in. And let go. When you raise the bubbling spring, make sure the heels come up in line with the tibia, with the leg bone, with the lower leg bone, that your ankles aren't dropping in or out. Breathing in and let go. And shake the legs out. Have a good shake of the legs, good shake of the ankles, some vibration through the ankles. And then we're just going to do that same thing really, really quickly. So you're just literally bouncing up and down. And then feel that vibration going all the way through the body. Release the shoulders. Watch that you're not holding those shoulders tight like this. Let those shoulders go. Let the head go a little bit. And again, if you feel you want to do a little bit of a cleansing and clearing, you can do a breath in and breath out. Remember, just a few of these big cleansing and clearing breaths are good. We want to create that space to breathe in. We want to have that flexibility, that ability, that elasticity in the rib cage, in the spine, to be able to take fuller breaths. And then slow it down. And then just stand for a moment. Let's open the shoulders, just having the palms facing forwards. And just feel any of the lovely tingling sensations through the body. Still having that strong spine, soft front of the body, relaxing into the face. Relaxing, softening the jaw. Softening into the shoulders. And then keeping your feet shoulder width apart. Let's play around with a few little Qigong flows and a few little bits of balances just for the rest of the session. We've got about 10 minutes left. So we're going to breathe in, let the arms flow up, softness in the wrists, softness in the elbows, softness in the shoulders. Breathe out. Breathe in. And again, this breath is very light, soft, it's quiet, it's all in and out through the nose now. And find your rhythm. Again, follow your rhythm, follow your breath. And let's play around with, just as you're breathing in, you feel that weight shift towards the ball of the foot, the bubbling spring. You don't want to be falling forwards, but you're feeling the weight shift forwards. As you breathe out, the weight shifts back towards the heels. Weight shifts forwards. Maybe you feel as if you're standing a little bit taller. As the weight shifts back, maybe you just sink just that little bit. So it's not just an arm movement, it's a whole body flow movement. And maybe if you feel comfortable with it, just coming forward, so you're just raising the bubbling springs and then back down onto the heels. But making sure it's still flowing, you're still breathing, you're not holding, you're not bracing, breathing in, raising onto the ball of the foot, breathing out, lowering. I really want you to keep the breath and the flow effortless. So if you get in here and going, oh, this is really hard, and you're trying to raise the heels, just stay with that subtle shift of the weight forward. That's much better to keep that flowing movement, just shifting the weight forwards rather than trying to balance on the ball of the foot. But if you can, bring that weight forwards. Think of rising tall, soaring crane, and then slowly lowering your heels down. Breathing in. Breathing out. If you can get the flow, it's lovely, lovely feeling. You're standing tall, you're expanding. And then you're just softening. Maybe you can hang out a little bit at the top. So maybe you can breathe in. Just a little bit of suspension of the breath at the top. And then slowly breathe out. Not a hold. I don't want you to tense everything up. It wants to be like, whoa, yeah, I'm just soaring up here. This is so relaxing and calming. If that feels good, stay with that. Or if you just, again, want to keep with that very subtle weight shift forwards, very subtle weight shift backwards. It's all about the flow and the breath, not about strain and pain. So now, as you are shifting forwards, I want you to focus on the right side of the body. So you're just shifting the weight a little bit more onto the right side of the body. And then that left heel can just start to peel off the floor. And then when we go the other way, you shift to the left side of the body, the right heel peels off the floor. So we're just putting the emphasis weight-wise opposite sides of the body. So where we're stabilizing, if you're shifting the weight towards the right, completely connected to the ground. I'm not going onto the bubbling spring here, nice and solid through that support leg. And when we're raising the heel of the opposite leg, that's quite relaxed. So I'm not pushing into the ground with that. So the emphasis here is just shifting the weight side to side. Again, following your breath. Who's getting arm ache? And now again, if it feels good as you shift the weight side to side, as you peel the heel off the ground, then you can just raise, lift the knee, and then slowly step back down. Same thing though, is go with the flow. It wants to feel flow, it wants to feel free, it doesn't want to feel as if you're holding the breath or straining. Slowly back down. So shifting the weight, stabilize first. Keep the flow of the movement going, the flow of the breath going. So important. It's easy to go, oh yeah, I can balance up here and hold that. Keep that flow going with the breath, with the movement, slowly back down. It's easy to crash back down, slowly back down. Breathing in, expanding, breathing out. If you prefer, you can just stay raising that back heel. If that is better for you in terms of flow for now, that's perfect. Some mornings you'll be able to do this and balance perfectly. Other mornings you'll be all over the place. Remember, the goal is to keep that steady flow of movement, steady flow of breath. When you shift the weight, you're always making sure that you're stabilized on that support leg before you lift or mobilize the opposite leg. So just making sure you're stabilized and you can balance. Remember, the other trick to balancing is using the upper body as well. So lengthen through the spine. We make sure it's almost like we're being very gently lifted and lengthened through the spine. That helps you stand tall and balance. Let's do 2 more. It's almost like when you're stepping back down, it's like you're just going to dip your toe in the water to make sure it's not too hot and it's not too cold. And then just take a rest. Bring your feet hip width, stand tall. Maybe if you just want to open the shoulders a little bit, tune into that strong lower body, strong spine, but then soften into the front of the body. Soften chest, belly, face. Stepping back out. Just doing a nice big, let's do a full breath in. Nice big breath in. Big breath out. If you want to breathe out through the mouth, absolutely fine. Interlock our thumbs, resting there on the belly, on the lower dantian, bringing your feet together. Just letting those elbows sink into the body, settle into the side of the body, relax the shoulders, relax the chest, closing your eyes, and then just allowing that gentle rock and sway. You may notice, not trying to move in any particular way, not necessarily trying to balance in any particular way. Bamboo in the wind. Now taking a calm, full breath in through the nose. Opening your eyes, stepping your feet out, a little brush down. So playing around today, and as you go through the rest of the week, just noticing, playing around with that balance, as we were chatting in the Zoom before the session about putting your socks on, getting changed. Play around with that rather than go, oh, I'll just sit down and put my socks on. As long as it's safe, balance, stand, putting shoes on and things. Notice when you're walking, every single step you take is you're shifting that weight to one side of the body, and then it shifts to the other side of the body. So that contralateral movement as you're walking. So have that in mind as you go through the rest of the day. If you have any requests of anything you want to cover in these sessions, on a Monday we're more focused on breath, on a Wednesday we're more focused on movement, please do get in touch. As always, thanks for your support. It's great to see more and more people joining on Instagram, which is good, and staying hopefully for the whole half an hour, and also on LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube. Tell your friends to join in as well. Good to see you. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.